Hey guys, it's your boy Willie. All right, so let's talk about MotoGP. I'm gonna call this Willie's lean in corner. Willie's two wheel corner. That's what we're gonna call it. A little MotoGP breakdown, motorcycle racing breakdown. All right, so 2023 season's about to start. They just finished testing at Sepang in Indonesia and Portimao in Portugal. Last season was super exciting. It was basically down to the last race, even though it was pretty much settled. But 2022 was pretty exciting season for MotoGP. And these are just my thoughts on the upcoming season, looking over last year and the preseason test. All right, so let's get into it. First, we're going to cover Ducati. I think Ducati is the manufacturer to beat. I think they're 2 to 3 steps ahead of everybody else on the field. That bike has been developed for, I don't know, going on a lot of years at this point. And I think in the last couple years, it's just turned into the bike everybody wants to be on. It's fixed its turning issues, and it's still a pasta rocket. It just flies. So they broke records at the testing. I think both in Sepang and Portimao. It might just be Portimao though. Pecco Bagnian, last year's champion, looks even stronger. And as long as he doesn't get as many DNFs as he did last year, which I think he had the most, maybe second to a couple other guys, but just too many DNFs. But he just looks way more confident on that bike. And he's got Enea Bastianini as his teammate, and we all know what he's capable of. I mean, he saves his tire for the end of the race, and he just makes everyone else look like they're on 600cc bikes. Just an absolute beast, as his nickname goes. So I think that's the team to beat. And obviously all the satellite teams they're just as potent to win a few races and just hurt the rest of the field. And I think that's to their benefit. It might get a little complicated, but I think it's to their benefit. And yeah, outside of Pecco, I don't really see anybody else really winning that many races. I think he's just going to be dominant outside of Enea Bastianini. And if anybody else shows to be faster than them, it would hurt Pecco repeating a championship. Yeah, that talent pool is deep, so we'll see what they can do. So as far as competitors go to Ducati, I just don't think anybody's up there. But if somebody is at that level, it would have to be Aprilia. Aleix showed last year that he's just super talented, but not only super talented, he's got the determination to just fight and just be there, even if things aren't working his way. I think that factory with last year's experience, if they can make less mistakes, they'll be just as good this year. I think with the addition of a satellite team, they're Ducati's biggest rivals on the track. And I think a dark horse, one of the dark horses for the season would have to be Miguel Oliveira. I think he's going to take a couple wins because once he gets a clear track and things are clicking for him, nobody's going to catch him. So I think Aprilia has got all the things lined up. They also got Raul Fernandez. I think he's got something to prove. He was on an inferior bike last year, and if these bikes are just the same as the factory ones, I think he'll show his true colors, which is someone of massive talent. But yeah, that's Aprilia. Now we'll move on to Yamaha. Yamaha is in dire straits. I think Fabio is probably the most talented guy on the field. I think he is just doing miracles with a package that has just not been able to keep up with the Italian bikes. And he is getting 110% out of that bike. Just unbelievable talent. Now, Yamaha said that they've given him a new engine with more power, as well for Franco Morbidelli. And if is it proves to be as capable, I think Fabio will still always be there. You can't deny someone of that talent a spot at the top. As far as Franco Morbidelli goes, I think this is the year for him to prove himself. Truly, he had a great campaign back in 2020. He was right there fighting for the title. I think he came in second, and it just didn't look good last year. And hopefully, he can bounce back and really shine because he's super talented. He's one of the smoothest riders on the field. So it's difficult for him to be on a bike that he has to push to the absolute limit all the time. It's just a detriment. So if I think if he's not able to be a supportive teammate or even win some races, I think he'll be maybe not on the MotoGP grid for the following year, sadly. But yeah, hopefully Yamaha has a durable engine because it had engine problems before, and they can be right up there with Ducati and Aprilia. All right, next KTM. KTM, this bike, I think they're still developing it. They have, to me, one of the most talented riders ever, Brad Binder. I think he's gonna get a couple wins this year. Like Fabio, he makes a bike that isn't the best, great. But he's got Jack Miller as his teammate on the factory bike, and I think Jack will probably win a couple races because he's just that guy. He wins. He's fast. And as the support bikes, I guess not support bikes, the satellite team, Gas, they got Paul Espargaro and I blanked on the other guy's name that came from Moto2 that won the championship. Super fast. And I mean, the KTM, it just needs to show that it's just as capable. It shows that it has the speed, but maybe it's just missing a few things that a manufacturer like Aprilia figured out and has been able to really show that bike's potential. And it's KTM. I think they have the money. They have the ability to just be right there with everybody else. So, and Brad's gonna win a couple races. I just know it. I just know it. And finally, we get to Honda. They got Marc Marquez, a former 8-time world champion, probably the greatest to ever do it, and he's come from a pretty brutal injury. Glad he's doing great, and he's gonna be up there a few times, but that bike is the worst bike on the field. It just, as Marc Marquez was winning races in the past, Ducati caught up. Simply put, Ducati caught up and has now is leaps and bounds ahead of the Honda. And Honda needs to get things together, and they will, because they're Honda. They're the big dogs on the MotoGP grid. I think maybe not this year, but next year they'll be just as dangerous as they've ever been, because they'll still have Mark, and now they have Joan Mir, another former champion, super talented, and they got Alex Rins and Taka Nakagami, who I hope he wins a race. Yeah, I think Honda just needs to get things together because it's not looking great for them, despite having the best rider on the field. All right, sorry, I had to get a water to clear my throat a little bit, but I'm basically over. my list of my thoughts on the new season. I think Ducati's going to dominate, especially now with the sprint races. The sprint races are going to be to the favor of the Ducatis, and there's just not much that anybody else can do on the grid. But I really hope that Yamaha and Aprilia are there, and hopefully KTM and Honda can be there too, because I want this to be another exciting season, because the last few seasons have been great, and seeing just one manufacturer just dominating is just not the most fun to watch. And yeah, I just can't wait for the new season. I hope everybody does great and stays safe. I think the real rivalry will probably be down in the Ducati field, considering the talent pool is so deep. Another dark horse, Alex Marquez, because he's now on a bike that should help him quite a bit. And yeah, super excited. Let's see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.